At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. In this hour, we will get into the NBA, talk about tonight's card, recap a little bit of what happened last night. Do You Concur is coming up as well at the bottom of the hour. We do have a national title game to revisit from last night as Michigan took down the title, defeating Washington 34-23. That was their 11th win by 20-plus points on the year. They looked like they were going to run away with the game in the first quarter. Then they did nothing for 2+ quarters after that, and they left that door open slightly for Washington, and Washington could never capitalize in the moment last night. And Washington played a terrible football game anyway. Michigan was solid on defense. The pressure was good. The secondary was fine. But also, that's the worst game I watched Penix play as the quarterback at Washington. He was just erratic. He was all over. And then, didn't get a lot of help either. When he connects to Odunze on that one huge play, there's a phantom holding call. A lot of people are pissed off about that.
Oh, that was so big. You talking about the fourth quarter?
Oh, huge.
Oh, my God. It's 20-13.
Yeah.
There's 11 minutes left. For the push to the ground, when it was innocuous, and of all the crap that they let go.
He put his bare paw out like this on his shoulder and then pushed the guy down to the ground. Oh, that's a hold.
They are deep in Michigan territory with 10 minutes left, down 7. But yet they let that play go where it's blatant holding on Michigan. The only play McCarthy made all night through the air, which was a long pass, which set up their touchdown after that to go up 14.
McCarthy had 10 completions. They won the game by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I was actually questioning, after they got out to that big lead, why are you doing anything? Go back to the Penn State game. Don't even have McCarthy drop back to pass ever. Just run the football. And I know that Washington adjusted, and they were not allowing Corum to do anything really in those middle quarters before he exploded late in the game, and he eventually scored 2 touchdowns. But I was a little bit confused by that, but also like the Washington play calling early on in that game, that first drive, that was not a good wash. They went down the field and they kicked a field goal. I was disappointed completely that they never scored a touchdown, but also the play calling. They get in the red zone, like inside the 10-yard line. They're running end arounds. Knock it off. You got Michael. When did the shots deep start coming? When the game was out of control?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
too much pressure by Michigan. Bad job by the right tackle. 73 was awful. And too many penalties to put them in second along as well. But also the first quarter. I mean, I don't understand why you feared or thought McCarthy was going to be a problem. And you waited to sell out to stop the run, and they got 174 yards rushing in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. Again, that is 17-3, 2 minutes into the second quarter. And then they get the field goal off the Penix interception right away in the third quarter. You're right. They did nothing for 2 quarters. And you come all the way back. You're in that game with the ball, down 7, and a chance to tie it up. Then they had a couple big plays. They go up 14, and then Penix and Washington driving, then the interception and the long return inside the 5.
Well, how did he miss Odunze?
Oh, God.
That was a touchdown.
Wide open touchdown, easy.
Yeah, the call.
Would have made it 17-10, yeah.
The holding call that we talked about already.
Yep.
Again, I think one of the most underrated big plays of the game last night was when it was like the accidental text on purpose. It was like the defensive lineman for Michigan accidentally blew up the screen pass. He stumbled into McMillan. And Herb Street's, I never saw like the overhead view. Herb Street's on the broadcast saying, "Oh my God, they had the blockers on the right side of the field. Who knows how long he could have?" He turned around, looked at McMillan, and he threw the ball because he thought he was going to be there, and the guy just took him out, and it was just a total accident and a freak play, and that would have been huge.
Yep.
So
the 2nd and 14, the first touchdown cannot happen. 2nd and 14,
untouched.
Nope.
But both of them he was untouched.
And then to lose with no rushing attack and to be one-dimensional because of the Johnson injury, who got banged up and came in the game wounded, but got hurt on the first drive. I mean, he had 11 for 33. So, but excellent job by Michigan. Harbaugh's a winner. We'll see if an NFL team gives them a bag like they should, because you're going to win immediately and turn it around. They didn't allow 25 points in a game the whole year. Ohio State put 24 up on them in Maryland. And on the entire season, they only had 5 turnovers and 45 penalties, which is nuts. So if I'm him, I'd leave. Could this be the year of the Harbaughs? With Baltimore, the 1 seed, and you saw his face and expression when John came over during the game. But I take the money. I don't want to worry about the NC2A ever again. And I didn't sign up for this. Now how college football will completely change, and we won't recognize it, what happens when the new year starts with the new season. Michigan plays Texas, USC, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State. And then if you survive that, you're in the playoff, and who knows?
Yeah.
The 12-team playoff. Well, same goes for Lincoln Riley or from any of these big-time coaches. Now where you just see what the SEC and Big Ten look like. It's bananas.
That's going to be pretty much the schedule for all these teams.
Yeah.
In the Big Ten and the SEC. I would say that maybe Harbaugh just wants to build a monster here. He's going to be in the playoff pretty much every single year. 12 teams now.
You think so? Look at that. I mean, look what you're going to play every year, though.
Well, we keep in mind we're going to get 3 lost teams in.
Yeah,
multiple
right.
3 lost. You have to, because nobody's going to. How many teams are going to run the table moving forward? Not a lot.
That's going to be hard to do. You're right. How many of these bids go to outside of Big Ten, SEC?
Sure, but again, when you give a coach long enough time, eventually a guy like Harbaugh is going to build it up to think about what he had to go through. It was every year domination by Ohio State, and how Urban Meyer went out by just absolutely spanking them, and then it was like, well, Harbaugh's gone. He's no longer going to be the head coach of Michigan. We don't want him here anymore. They stuck with him, and then eventually, the playoff spot. You lost to Georgia. It wasn't pretty. Last year to TCU, another spot. Like, eventually, there are stepping stones that you have to take as a program. Like, Georgia made the playoff in the national title game before they ever won the whole thing and went back-to-back. Michigan, same thing here. Washington had no experience, this current team in the playoff, and maybe that showed a little bit last night. But now that he's gotten to this point, why would he not be like 9-3, 10-2, Big Ten championship games like every single year, and at least get an at-large bid and maybe have a chance to win multiple championships? He could also, like, Michigan can probably give him what? If they wanted to, $12, $13, $15 million a year. So that'd be competitive to what the NFL teams are going to throw out there. It's just going to come down to a personal choice, and if he wants to win a Super Bowl sometime, which maybe could be the ultimate drive for him. This was a good observation from Brad Powers. He went hardcore last night. He watched the game on 5 different channels here in town. All 22 on the ESPN app, ESPN2, ESPN, ESPN News, and ESPNU. He said there was about an 8-second total difference between the 5.
It's interesting, the rankings of what was fastest. That the all 22 was the fastest.
Yeah.
And then followed by the Deuce and then ESPN.
Uh-huh. So in terms of live betting, search around. I don't know how far it was actually behind the game. I would say that the feed I was watching on, I was going back and forth on a couple of them. I'm going to say that I was at least 30 seconds behind the actual game time last night.
Yeah.
Based on what was happening on my phone, trying to track it real time.
Yeah. It's a huge problem in basketball. NBA and March Madness.
Oh, it's
you're 3 possessions behind.
Oh, easily.
It's nuts when you go back and look at it. So at DraftKings, Georgia's the favorite. They've lost 1 game by 3 points, and then Alabama the second choice. Georgia plays Bama. They also play Clemson and Texas. Bama goes to Wisconsin to start. Good for them. Georgia, LSU, and Oklahoma. And in order, it goes Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Texas, Michigan, Oregon, LSU, and I know you took a little Ole Miss as well. With I think Florida State's got some value now with getting DJ.
Interesting. Okay,
they
maybe.
also have something to prove too, right?
Sure.
Who knows? Yeah, I think that could be worth a look. But again, I hope you hedged for all the people that had those big tickets on Washington. So it worked out for the books because I know they had big liability with those Washington tickets. And if you had 100 to 1 or 50 to 1, whatever.
That's a great point because we know a bunch of people, and it was circulating on social media last week about those big tickets. And so there's always a back and forth. We get asked this question probably daily. Like, what do I do? How do I hedge this game? Do I do it before the game starts? Do I wait in play? Well, If you didn't do it before the game started last night, you blew any opportunity. I mean, you were laying absolutely massive numbers pretty much the entire time.
I saw 1,200 money line early on with Michigan.
Yeah. So people that want to wait in that spot, hoping that Washington will get out to an early lead, they can buy back on Michigan. Never had that chance. So it's you never know how these games are going to go. Each and every game takes on a life of its own. Like, who knows last night, right? Who knows? What if Texas, after, DeBoer blew the end of the Sugar Bowl by the time management, what if Texas scores? Like, what kind of game do we get last night if it's Texas? On the flip side, what if Michigan doesn't convert 4th and 2 and we get Alabama and Washington? Is the game completely different?
Yeah.
What if both teams, and it could have flipped, we could have had Texas, Alabama last night just as easily as we had Washington, Michigan.
Or Georgia goes undefeated.
Sure. Or what does Florida State look like against either of those teams last night?
Yep. With Travis or?
Well, with Travis, forget it. No, with the backup. I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah. Because I think they would have had a strong showing in what they did defensively as well. Even with the backup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took Circa opened up numbers too last week. I took some Ole Miss at 25-1. Partially, I heard two different people here on the network make a case for them. But also, like, when you look at their schedule compared to teams like Georgia and Alabama, they do have a more favorable schedule. Alabama's schedule, as you ran down, very difficult. Georgia's schedule, same exact thing.
Yep.
But this is why they're. I'm sorry, but the committee, get ready for 3-loss teams to be in, and they're gonna deserve it because they're gonna play everybody.
And now we have, with the Pac-12 going bye, we also have a brand new Big 12. And what's Utah? Utah's 50-1.
Yeah.
And now you get Rising coming back. So that team always has a great defense and is well coached.
Yeah. Could that team go to the Big 12 and be a player immediately?
Yes, they could.
Why couldn't they be?
Yep.
All right, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We'll get into the NBA up next. An unfortunate injury last night. Actually, 2 of them. We'll talk about coming up here on VSiN.
Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today. Get unlimited access to the VSiN.com/picks page. We're on the Chiefs. Humans likes the under. For more VSiN Pro picks, become a subscriber today. Follow the money. We'll give you 10% off the annual subscription. Use promo code FTM. Promo code FTM. An hour ago, we talked about the worst bets we made during the NFL season. Send them in. FTM at VSiN.com. Tweet at us as well. FTM at VSiN.com. Brett, where do I start? Right, Coach of the Year. Art Smith. That was my number one. Judy, very popular. Offensive Player of the Year. Or Judy to have a big year.
Sure.
Was popular. A lot of people took a shot on Jacksonville. It was an implosion. I can't kill you. They were 8-3 in what appeared to be a lousy division. That was all on their defense and what happened. And certainly Lawrence can't stay healthy. The Patriots are very popular, too, with their win total. Some people thought they'd be a playoff team, but a lot of New England over as well. And certainly that was a bad bet in the Patriots. Just the quarterback play and how bad it was. And it appears Belichick out the door.
Yeah, a couple emails here. FTM at VSiN.com. This is from Irv. He had a bunch of NFL under win totals, but decided to take the one over on the year, and that was the Patriots. This is from Mark in Boston.
So quickly, I did that too. I mean, I played a ton of unders, and I lost almost all of them. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's just, as I said, the worst year for win totals, but it's not like I took all these teams over and they all underachieved. It was the big surprises.
It was the
Tampas,
opposite.
The Houstons, the Raiders got me again.
Me too.
Yeah.
This is from Mark in Boston. He took a flyer figuring that Purdy would come back down to earth. San Francisco not to make the playoffs. As he said, just missed. Yeah. Almost got there with the 1 seed. This is from Sam. Tank Bigsby to lead the league in rushing touchdowns and be the rookie rushing leader. I don't hate that one. Jacksonville, in theory, was supposed to be high scoring, a lot of opportunities near the goal line. He might steal those carries from Etienne, possibly.
Yep.
And another one here, Jerry Jeudy, Offensive Player of the Year. I know Chernoff was high on Jeudy before the season started. It made sense the way they closed last year with Russell Wilson.
Yep. I was high on the Saints as well and bought into the Atlanta hype. And Tampa took me out, and certainly, they didn't have a chance with Art Smith.
Yep.
You mentioned the big tickets that cash yesterday. Did you see Mike Evans tied for the league lead in touchdowns?
Yeah.
What do you think that paid?
He was 30-1 before the year started at MGM.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. He could have been. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that'd be higher.
Thinking like 80, 100.
With Baker Mayfield?
Yeah. Well,
going in? I mean, the guy was, he played on 3 teams in 1 year.
I think Mike Evans has to be the most underrated wide receiver in the last 10 years of NFL, maybe of our lifetime.
Look at the numbers.
Yep.
Absolutely. So you mentioned it. I was watching the game live when it happened because it's just John Moran out for the year, but we'll get to that in a second. Halliburton gets hurt. It was a great game back and forth, and they were down big against Boston. I thought it looked like Achilles or an ACL when he went down, because then they carried him off the floor and he had a towel over his head. I mean, this guy has been so good. He has to be in the MVP discussion. How they played in the in-season tournament, and the guy's averaging 13 assists a game, and he rarely turns the ball over. What he's done. So it's a hammy, and I don't know what couple weeks is he out? I have no idea.
I think it's just speculation at this point.
Yeah.
That's what I saw right away last night. I think they said best case scenario was probably a couple of weeks for him.
Okay, well, at least I thought for sure, oh boy, season could be over.
Well, how about that
looks
though?
So bad.
I was not watching the game last night, but I saw it like on Twitter. How many people do you think were betting Boston just to win the game play?
No kidding.
And they could not win that game?
They were up, they were up 10, right? Yes. That's a bad job by the Celtics.
Yeah.
An incredible job by the Pacers rallying to get 133 to 131. The big win.
Another Pacers over even without that guy.
God, they're playing well. The opposite of the Lakers.
And the Bucks.
Well, oh, boy. I know you didn't have Lillard, but get a stop, please. And now it's a season from hell with Memphis. Ja got hurt in practice, and then he has a tear in his shoulder, so he's done for the year, and that'll do it for Memphis season, even though they had the big wins against the Lakers and Suns without him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that opens it so you can dismiss them with the West, and someone's got to fall off here, though. I mean, Utah's now past Golden State, and Golden State is like, the 12th seed now. So, and the Lakers had the big win against the Clippers, but Darvin Ham doesn't know what lineup to use, and the Lakers really are playing bad ball here. And everything that worked last year, like Hachimura and Russell can give you – bringing Russell back was a big mistake, and Hachimura apparently was a fluke.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the Jazz would actually make a run, if they can, to get into the play-in tournament potentially, make the playoffs, or do you think they're more likely to be sellers by the deadline?
I think they'll do the same thing last year. They'll move some guys, and they have a plan. And again, with this treasure chest of picks, that they're focused more on the future.
They're 12-1 to make the play-in tournament.
Really?
12-1. Wow. But what you just said concerns me for sure with that bet. Because you could make that bet at 12-1.
Well,
you can make a case against every team around them right now, right? For sure. And then all of a sudden, in the next 3 weeks, they're like, yeah, you know what? Forget about this. We're going to trade 3 of our guys.
Golden State is a mess. It's an absolute hound's breakfast. They are 17-19, the 12 seed. They have played 23 games against teams under 500. Draymond Green, I thought I was going to retire. Silver talked me out of it. Lay down. What's your problem? I'm asking you not to act like an idiot. And now, I can't handle it. I might have to walk away.
He also wasn't going to punt that $90 million that he's owed.
Okay, that too. Now you have Kuminga calling out Kerr in this report about that. So the role players are complaining about minutes and not getting their time. Chris Paul is hurt. They were down. What were they down against Toronto at home? 20, 30?
Oh, before
I look up, it's like 36-16.
Yeah.
So this is ugly. And I can't believe, again, with the Lakers record, that you're getting this. You tell me LeBron and AD are going to play like this and only miss a few games, and this is their record? This is bananas.
Okay, so does that actually spark a run here for the Lakers, what happened against the Clippers? Or do we look at that and say, when the game is big enough and when it actually matters, it's a big spot for the Lakers, that's when they step up and play their best? Like, it clearly meant something for LeBron to win the in-season tournament, although their schedule was relatively easy compared to other teams trying to make deep runs. And they had the Clippers the other night. Clippers playing great basketball. I mean, look at what the Clippers did last night. They absolutely spanked the Suns, and all 3 guys played for the Suns, by the way. Didn't matter. Clippers ran them out of the gym.
I'll answer your question. Sunday night was a total fluke. The Clippers are 13-1 in the last 14 games Kawhi's played. They scored 103 points. It was just, he had an off game. He couldn't make a shot.
Friday
night, they went to New Orleans, who was hot. They were up. New Orleans is up 50 on Sacramento. They're playing so well. Anyways, Friday night, the Clippers went to New Orleans. They're up 30.
Yeah.
It was just a fluke what happened. But maybe they just don't have enough talent. And they don't have enough shooters, and it's just a bad mix. And last year was a little bit of a fluke. They caught a banged-up Memphis team, and Golden State didn't have any size, and they just punished them down low, and it was a bad matchup for Golden State. And, yes, they hung in there in the games, but they were swept by Denver.
Yeah.
But it's just you're also seeing, and some people think it's ridiculous, but some people felt Ham was going to be gone if they lost that game Sunday, that he just doesn't know who to play and I'm going to start these guys. And then the lineup that they played in the playoffs he hasn't put out there. But Russell's a total bum. You can't get anything out of him. They never should have acquired him. They could have had Conley. Hachimura was a fluke. Prince is a good player, but then they've also had injuries with some other key guys. So we'll see what Pelinka does with the deadline coming up.
I mean,
I don't know, but it's
overall from the beginning of the season to right now, Reeves has had a good year.
Uh-huh.
He's a good ball player. He's their third best ball player. So, is that going to be good enough? I mean, I know this guy was in the mix to win the Sixth Man of the Year award. Isn't that what he should be? Like, I don't think I want Austin Reeves. Again, I like him a lot. Do I want him playing 38 minutes a game and being their third best player? Probably not.
Yeah.
So that probably is going to be an issue. And you're right, Hachimura, I like that kid quite a bit as well. Last year, I mean, was it lightning in the bottle?
It was a total fluke.
For 2 months?
Yep.
3 months, whatever it was?
When a guy has a big payday, and stuff like that can happen. So, but this is also still a problem when you're in January and you don't know, you're tinkering with the lineup and don't know who to play. And then you saw that report. I mean, I think I know who it's coming from. But the night LeBron refused to talk to the media, you wake up the next day and it's, well, this guy doesn't know how to make adjustments, and we're getting out-coached in halftime, no adjustments at halftime, and key lineup moves that are made are not made, and Shams had that.
Lakers are laying 5 tonight against the Raptors.
Yeah. Well, they should win. They should win and cover.
It's got a high total, man.
How about the Knicks?
235.
Knicks are in action tonight.
Yeah,
this is unbelievable.
They're taking money as we speak. It's up to 12.5.
Since the OG trade? And they, Friday night, they go into Philadelphia and are up 30, up 25 in that game, and Randall made one shot?
And Randall was on the hottest stretch of his entire career before that game?
Yeah.
It's a very small sample size. I don't want to get crazy here.
Well, it's been very impressive.
But so far, so good.
Remember, they're up 20 on Minnesota since they got acquired OG. It's been great.
By the way, Dallas up to 9 now this morning against Memphis. That opened up before the Jaw News last night. Dallas minus 4.5. And
that's high. That's still high.
We saw what the Grizzlies were like before Ja came back this year. They were terrible, but big number here for the Mavericks. Do You Concur is up next. The most appealing job opening in the NFL and a nominee for sexiest team entering next season.
Great moments in history have begun with a question.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And what kind of hair product does Mitch Moss use? But Follow the Money wants to know.
Do you concur? Concur with me.
What, sir?
Do you concur?
Only number one here. Jacksonville was a very sexy pick by many this year, including me. You can probably put Atlanta in that category as well. Looking ahead already to next season, Green Bay is going to fall under that category. Do you concur?
No. I'm assuming they lose Sunday in the playoff game. I still think Detroit's the best team in that division, and Minnesota's going to get Cousins back.
No, I'm saying like people are going to make a case. A lot of people are going to make the case. Jordan Love's second year, very young receivers. Watch out for Green Bay is what you're going to hear.
I would say more Chargers.
Chargers, okay.
Based on, they're finally going to get we hope, a big-time coach, and you get rid of Staley. I think it'll be more Chargers win total over how bad the Chiefs. Who knows? The Chiefs might lose Sunday. I like them, but Saturday night, they could lose. And you see a lot of people picking the Chargers to win that division.
And maybe another team actually in the NFC North. Depends on how the offseason goes for the Bears.
Yeah.
They could be very sexy. Next year at this time, we'll be talking about how NFL Wildcard Weekend is a top 3 sports weekend of the year. Do you concur?
Absolutely. 100% concur.
Here's what we get.
Yep.
This week, this is going to be this week next year. Thursday, Orange Bowl. Friday night, Cotton Bowl. Saturday, 2 wild card games. Sunday, 3 wild card games. Monday night, 1 wild card game. 5 days in a row. Just take over my life. Go ahead. No plans whatsoever for like 96 straight hours.
That's playoff semifinal 1 and 2?
Yes.
Is that what? Wow. That is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That is insanity.
Thursday night, Friday night, and then all weekend NFL. People are going to, they're not, that's next year at this time, forget about it. That's like March Madness good.
Yeah, it's 5 straight nights with a playoff game.
Yeah. That's incredible.
That is the nuts.
That weekend is, Mike Palm's right.
Oh.
That's better than opening weekend in the NFL.
Oh, yes, no question. That's great. Prop standpoint, standalone games, back-to-back. How do you feel about the Monday night game?
What, last night?
No.
I hate the game last night. You got to bump it up to like Thursday again.
That's what you want to do?
It's only a week. Give the kids like 10 days to get ready for the game.
Okay, how about the Monday night playoff game?
And
Chernoff wants it. Yeah, he wants to go 3 and 3.
I would prefer 3 and 3.
Triple header. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You too?
Yeah. I see both sides of it. It just feels weird with a playoff game on Monday night.
It does.
All right, you asked me. I'll throw it back at you. The biggest threat to Baltimore in the AFC, the Browns. Do you concur? Sal Powell said the same thing last week.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm right there. If it's not the Browns, it's razor thin between, I'd say, the Browns, the Bills, and then probably the Chiefs. But again, how long are we going to hold out hope for Mahomes and company to turn this around?
I know. I'm dismissing him. Maybe he'll come back to bite me, but
Yeah.
I've watched this the entire year. They haven't fixed anything. They continue to lead the league in drops, and Kelsey can't get open. It's a disaster offensively.
Miami is absolutely, in my opinion, no threat to go to Baltimore and win. However, if Pittsburgh would shock the world this weekend, get TJ Watt, is that an easy game for Baltimore? I mean, the point spread will tell you yes, absolutely.
Oh, they're a huge favorite.
Huge, but those two teams, the way they play each other throughout the years, Watt might might steal Defensive Player of the Year again this year. Justin Fields would make sense in Pittsburgh next year. Do you concur?
I like that. Yes. But there's a lot of spots where he fits, though.
I have a bunch.
In terms
bunch
of
on my
an
list
upgrade,
here.
right. Pickett can't play. I mean, that Mason Rudolph stat is nuts. Going into Saturday, he had made 12 starts. He had multiple touchdown passes in 6 of them. Kenny Pickett had made 24 starts. He's done it once.
Yeah.
So imagine Pittsburgh with a big-time quarterback.
Well, I'm not even going to call Fields big time at this point, but
well, I'm not either. But yeah. I'm just talking about But that's I'm moving on if I'm Chicago. But he's a good fit in Atlanta, in Pittsburgh. Certainly better than what they have, and we know Atlanta was a horror show, their quarterback situation.
Yeah, you can hate on Justin Fields all you want. He is clearly some sort of an upgrade from what the Steelers have right now at quarterback.
And I understand the people criticizing the play calling, too, and the OC in Chicago.
I think Las Vegas, maybe Denver, but they could also be in the market for a quarterback in the draft. Dan Campbell is the college buddy who you used to go on 3-day benders with, but fast forward like 25 years, he's still that guy. And you're like, whoa, Captain. I'm 45 now. Settle down a little bit here. There's no question he's the same guy.
Yeah, the coffee's out of control. He drinks, what did he say? I don't drink coffee. I don't know the terminology.
I think it was 2 or 3 Ventis?
It's a Venti?
The huge, yeah.
Yeah, he puts 3 of those down. He says that's
3
how he
of them.
starts his day.
3 of them.
I mean, he's just go.
I drink a lot of coffee. When I'm done with cup number 2, I'm ready to run a sprint. If I did 3 in a day, that's when I start to get the jitters.
Yeah. Well, Concur is that guy, but also I'm so worried about him now with the playoffs. This is just I'm going for it. I don't care what the situation is.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
The game at Chicago drove me nuts. He kept going for it every time, 4th down.
Yeah, of course.
4th and 10, 4th and 8, and then the fake punt stuff. I mean, are you going to fake a punt again in your 15-yard line in a playoff game? Are we going to do this with the season on the line?
Yes, of course.
I know, yeah.
It's probably going to continue against the Rams.
Yeah.
Hey, we're down 13-3, second quarter. Here's a fake punt from our 28.
Yeah.
Why not? It's who I am. It's what I do.
The Carolina Panthers are FUBAR'd. Good rep, Saving Private Ryan. For years to come. Can't tell you what it stands for. Bleeped up beyond all recognition. Do you concur?
I think the first time I ever heard that was Tango and Cash.
What?
I think. Am I wrong on that?
What are you talking about? That's Saving Private Ryan.
Kurt Russell and
Fubar?
Sylvester Stallone. I think Fubar was in Tango and Cash. Yeah.
Tango and Cash?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I'll have to go.
God.
It's been a long time. The movie's like 30-plus years old. I concur. They are for years to come.
Yeah.
With that owner, no idea what they're going to do.
Yes.
What are they going to have to settle for as head coach?
Good point. Because
Okay.
who's taking that job knowing what he's like? And it's like, I might have Bryce Young. I'm stuck with Bryce Young. And if I don't do anything, I'm going to be one and done or two and done.
Now new GM, so
You're
he's
right.
going to have to pull a Les Snead and hit every single draft pick out of the park. And oh, by the way, the cherry on top of this whole debacle was, take all the picks. Also, Chicago, would you like DJ Moore on top of it? Oh yeah, why not? You're going to throw him in too? Yeah, we'll settle for him as well.
Okay.
You didn't have to do that to get the trade done. You did.
Yep.
So it's like, here are a bunch of picks. We're going to take the worst guy that we could imaginably take at number 1 overall and take our best threat at wide receiver. Where's the hope?
Yep. I know it's a top 5 show, no debate of all time. But the marathon started Friday, and we're on season 5 today on HBO. Sopranos is the most underrated show of all time.
Well,
Do you concur?
it's turned into that, unfortunately, because we
forgot about it.
Yeah,
people forget about it, and what's right.
We're in the golden age of television, have been now for a long, long time, of TV shows in particular, right? Every single where you look, there's a new network or a new app, whatever, coming out. And they put a lot of money into it, and they're really, really good shows. And unfortunately, it's gotten lost for some reason. But yes, it is now underrated. It's a comedy. You want to go back and laugh, watch the first couple seasons of The Sopranos. There's no way you're not going to laugh out
I
loud.
can't believe how good the first season was.
Oh, did you go back and watch it in the marathon?
Yeah. Tony kills the guy on the trip for college, on Meadows' trip. The stuff that happens in season 1, the beef with Uncle Junior, and I can't believe, I'm like, it's happened right away?
Sure.
I forgot all about it.
Season 1's great. I think season 2 with
Richie Aprile, yes.
I loved season 2. It was phenomenal.
The writing, Gandolfini, I'm blown away.
The back and forth.
I was blown away by season 1.
Yeah, and the acting between Gandolfini and Carm, some of the fights they got into,
right,
off the charts, A+ acting.
I mean, he had to hype himself up.
Yeah.
With these scenes and go with the 25-year anniversary now with Sopranos.
Yeah. You're not going to want to hear this, but one of the 49ers or the Ravens will lose in the first playoff game.
Oh, come on.
You concur?
No, I didn't want to think about it. Can't even go there.
All right.
I can't.
We
even
won't
go
then.
there. I can't.
The most appealing job of
that's-
opening in the NFL is the Atlanta Falcons.
No, I don't concur again.
You don't concur?
Chargers.
Because of Herbert?
I take the Chargers, yes.
And you're
I
limiting
don't know
it?
who my quarterback is. That's big. I like the weapons, but again,
Gotta like the weapons.
I love the weapons, but again, and a pretty good defense, although they didn't show up Sunday. But what does it matter? What does it mean if I don't have a quarterback that can...
I think weapons and I think division. Long term. Short term and long term. Again, we just stomped all over the Panthers. They're not turning around that bad boy anytime soon.
Right.
Dennis Allen is going to be the head coach of New Orleans moving forward for who knows how long. They're not. And it's Derek Carr, by the way. And, the Buccaneers, little fluky here maybe this year.
Well, we know 8-9 wins is good enough to win the division.
Sure.
Should be able to get to 10. Yeah.
And what if Peyton gets his quarterback in Denver? Mm-hmm. He'll put it together. And the Raiders are seemingly pretty close.
I walk into Herbert. I made the playoffs 2 years ago, and I should have won a playoff game with the implosion. So I'm good to go with the Chargers.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We'll update wild card numbers in the NFL next year on this show and tell you about some of the bets that we've made. Looking forward to the games coming up on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's all coming up here on VSiN.
DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, bringing you an offer that'll make the playoffs even better. A lot of props are up already, and you can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Vegas. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Code Vegas. The crown is yours.
You never know what's going to get a reaction when you bring something up. I can't even keep up with the notifications right now on X. People chiming in saying it was 100% Tango and Cash, and people love the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Fubar?
Not
Saving Private. They took it from Tango and Cash.
Well,
I thought Foo because of war movie, incredible.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes will blow your mind.
Turf Capper on Twitter says he actually thinks it was first in Blue Thunder, a police helicopter movie.
Oh wow!
I don't know about that one.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but it was definitely Tango and Cash, and people, they're chiming in. Great. That was probably made like in very early 90s. Russell, Stallone, watch out. This is Moneyline Marv says The Wire still more underrated than Sopranos.
No. Too bad. Season 4 was weak with Sopranos. But there's a couple weak seasons with The Wire.
I don't disagree.
And I think there was only 5.
That's
Sopranos,
right.
Yeah. I think you had, did they whack Richie Aprile and Big Pussy back-to-back episodes?
That sounds about right.
I think so. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because they closed season 2 by...
Oh, yeah, right. It's just like, wow, that happened back-to-back episodes? Well, I'll have to go back and look, but I think that's what happened as I watched it over the weekend.
Yeah. When I went back, this was like very early on in the pandemic. I'm like, I'm just going to blow out some of these shows I haven't watched in a while. And I sat down in front of The Sopranos. I forgot how good season 1 was because college blew me out of the water.
Changed television. Groundbreaking television. College. 5th episode ever. College.
The star of the TV show kills somebody.
Right.
That's why it was groundbreaking.
Yes. And you brought in both of his lives.
Oh, and that's...
Because he's taking Meadow to college.
Yes. And you started to get that hint.
Like,
you're
wait
like,
a second.
whoa, hold on
that
here.
Guy? I recognize that guy.
We're also getting feedback on the worst bets that you made this year in the NFL. This is from Harry, FTM at vsin.com. Does it get any worse than Frank Reich, Coach of the Year?
Wicked, yeah.
That's a bad one. We've all been there. We ran down our top 5 earlier in the show. And it just happens. Not going to cash everything. Some of them that you make throughout the year are going to be really, really bad. Numbers that we have for Super Wild Card Round, the early game on Saturday.
I apologize. I am correct. That is correct. Back-to-back episodes, we lose Richie Aprile and Big Pussy.
Yep. So what are you going to do? Again, part of the blackjack draft here that we had in August.
Yes.
You guys stumbled upon Texans at 250 to 1. Well, they won their division. Have you already hedged to get?
I put 5,000 on the Browns.
Just money line.
Because I'm also worried about Cleveland going to Baltimore. So the Texans ticket is $375 and the Ravens ticket is $30,000. So then it's okay. Well, it's great because in a perfect world, I get a Texans-Ravens AFC title game, which I doubt will happen, but still. But then again, I reached out to an odds maker because I want to know what am I looking at if I win. And just one man's opinion, I put him on the spot. But an NFL odds maker says I'm a 9.5-point dog in Buffalo and a 10.5-point dog in Baltimore
with Houston.
Yeah.
So now remove those future tickets from it for a second here.
Okay.
How would you approach this game? Would you still like the Browns quite a bit?
Yeah. What Flacco's done in this offense is absurd. Now, he's also turning the ball over, but this is where also I think experience is big as well. And Flacco's won a Super Bowl. So I like the fact that the Browns are hot, and still the Texans were an unbelievable story. They're inconsistent, and certainly the Colts, you could say, blew that game on Saturday night. I am concerned with what happened in the first meeting. They couldn't stop him. Cooper had 250. They had the team record in that game. So I know you were banged up there with the Houston standpoint. I completely threw out what they did offensively because it was Keenum and Mills. But Flacco was also turning the ball over. And that's one thing that could keep them in the game here, too. But I know this. The Browns are going to be very popular. Everyone is into the Browns hype as well. And so I know you could be sitting there at 4:30 on Saturday. Why didn't I take the home dog? Come on.
Also, this game opened up Browns minus 1.5. It's now trending towards 3. It's 2.5 at every spot. But the juice on Cleveland is minus 115 or minus 20. So at some point, if it does touch 3 and it's going in that direction, the buyback, I'm sure, will be there with the Texans then.
It's a great game. But you also have to be concerned about Cleveland's horrendous defense in road games. It's night and day. They're number 1 at home. I think they're at the bottom. They have to be. They're the worst team in the league in points per game allowed on the road.
Yeah, that's certainly
So
been a thing
that's-
throughout the entire year. I just if Flacco, let's pretend here for a second that he doesn't. Cooper's not going to go off like that again. I mean, that's
Right.
huge game, obviously. And he's got other great weapons. I love the way he's working with Njoku, but let's eliminate the fact that he threw for like 368 in that game. Let's say he throws for 275, has a touchdown or two, but also has 2 or 3 more INTs, which is certainly capable because he's not afraid to make any of these throws. I mean, they are playing with house money and have been. And it's going their way.
Yep.
I mean, it has been coming up rosy here for a good month. So if that doesn't,
Right.
and then, but also some of those plays that we saw Stroud make against the Colts, probably not going to see that happen against this Browns defense. The first play of the game, Nico Collins, 75 yards.
But that's all they have now is Collins and Schultz because of the injury to Dell and other guys they've lost. So
Yeah.
that's on Indianapolis. But it also shows you how good Collins is. He had 9 targets. He caught all of them.
Yeah.
But I think Cleveland wins a close game. It's hard to make the case for Miami, and maybe this also looks too easy as well. But it's a big game for McDaniel. He did an excellent job last year in the playoff game. Again, you're playing a third-string rookie quarterback. You're a 2-touchdown dog. You almost win the game. It should have won the game. But with the Chiefs, they're giving up 17 points per game. This defense is nasty. But between the injuries, who's going to play with Miami? We know guys are already out. And I don't trust Tua in the elements, and I don't trust Miami in the elements.
Yeah. So I do see a bunch of 4s on the board this morning. It's either 3.5 or 4. Again, have as many outs as possible. That total is also hovering at 44. So the Chiefs offense, we haven't had like the explosive plays the entire year. It's been a major problem. And wide receivers dropping the ball. We all know this, right? Miami's got just a magnitude of injuries to deal with here. The cluster injury, so to speak. Van Ginkel hurt to go along with other guys they've lost throughout the entire year. The total is 44 in freezing temperatures, possibly below 0, come Saturday night. Tua on the road, where he's much better at home than he is on the road. And this Chiefs team has been an under team the entire year. I mean, you've been blown. What were they? 16-1 under fourth quarter?
Yeah, 15-2 second half.
Okay. 44 is a big number. This, again,
I concur.
This is priced almost like, it's not like previous Chiefs teams because this game would be in the 50s. So maybe this is already baked in, but I don't know if it's baked in enough, all things considered. I mean, this game could be 23-13 Chiefs and nothing happens, and I would not be surprised for a minute. Because Achane, he's been incredible. I mean, he averaged 8 yards a carry this year. It's the most since like the 30s. So will that continue to be a thing?
Yeah, they have a running game.
If the field, what kind of conditions is the field going to be in? Is it going to be as hard as concrete? Is it going to be tough to, will those hits that you take when 3 guys combined weigh 800 pounds land on you and it's going to be a frozen field? Like, how does that feel getting up?
Well, the defense bailed them out, and the defense is a big reason why they're here, Kansas City. So,
oh yeah,
just between the drops and you can't even line up correctly, and where's Kelsey and all this other business, it's too much off the field crap. Who's at the game? Is Taylor Swift coming? What's going on with the brother? Oh, there's the wife and all the crap. It's Mahomes yelling with the tirade afterwards, yelling at the officials. But then again, I love that the biggest thing to me is also they had the week off. They didn't play anybody against the Chargers.
Right.
And Miami had to throw everyone out there playing for the 2 seed, and it didn't work out. And it's coming back short week with travel.
Mm-hmm. All that's going against Miami. Bills are up to 10
God,
against the Steelers.
that's too much.
Total's
I don't care if Watt's out. That's a lot of points with a total now of 35.
35.5, and we might have 50-mile-an-hour winds.
You trust Josh Allen? 18 interceptions? Another key fumble?
My guess is it's going to be a typical Josh Allen game. You're going to get probably a lot of plays that look pretty good, and you're going to get some plays where you're like, what every week with this guy?
Is the Steeler rushing attack, is this going to continue?
Well, if it does, then I can tell you they can win the game outright.
Absolutely.
But I don't have.
That
I don't
keeps
know.
Josh Allen off the field when you're moving the chains and chewing clock.
Yep.
But in games you can't throw. In a game where you can't throw the ball down the field, in a total of 35, you got to win by 11.
Does it make you this early in the week? Does it make you want to play Josh Allen rushing props over?
Yes, that's a big part of their offense, and it's going to have to be.
Oh.
And that's been why they've won 6 of the last 7. But they're inconsistent offensively.
Yeah.
Where's the team that put up 50 on Miami earlier in the year?
We'll hit the other 3 games coming up in the next hour of the program. Next, Drew Butler's going to join the program. Kicked at Georgia. He likes to wager from time to time. We'll get his thoughts on last night's national title game and if he likes a team next year to win it all.